His blow up is kind of a little mysterious. It's interesting, but it raises a lot of questions that I want to answer.
This is Patrick CC. He is a hip-hop YouTuber who helped inspire me to make my channel. He made this video on Tokyo's Revenge going over whether or not he thought he was an X clone. And now I'm going to be doing the same thing because I don't think Patrick did a very good job. I'm going to be explaining what I think Patrick did wrong and my opinion on whether or not Tokyo's Revenge is a copy of XXXTENTACION. If you enjoy, please like, comment, and subscribe, and we're going to get straight into it.
I was actually making a video about TikTok, and that's where I found Tokyo's Revenge, who had a song that was trending on TikTok. Usually when you have a song popping on TikTok, it means you're probably about to blow up.
Not anymore. Rest in peace, TikTok.
So let's listen to that song real quick.
You like me.
So I mean, it's a fun song. Whether you like it or not, I guess it's personal preference, but objectively it's a pretty good song. It sounds like it was designed for TikTok. It sounds like it was written for TikTok.
So it appears that coming into this, he's not very biased. He doesn't think this sounds like X too much, or at least not an alarming amount. And it is worth noting that Patrick is a pretty big fan of XXXTENTACION and is pretty familiar with the underground rap game. So we're just going to move on to whatever he says next.
I had to do a little bit more digging, and I found this song.
Okay, yeah.
I need to see a doctor.
Look,
Nigga don't like me, kill me right now.
Otherwise, nigga, pipe down. Y'all niggas rap too loud, nigga. Shh, what's that sound? That's me sneaking in your house.
Okay, so this one is very, very obviously influenced by X. However, I do see a slight difference, but, you know, the, hey, okay, ad-libs, like, how are you really gonna argue with that?
Alright, so this is already where I start to disagree with Patrick. This song he's talking about is Good Morning Tokyo, which I have right here on my Excel spreadsheet. 0 equals no resemblance out of 10, and 10 out of 10 equals that they sound the same. So with Good Morning Tokyo, I had Tokyo sounding like X about 3 out of 10, Ski Mask 3 out of 10, and Denzel Curry 5 out of 10. This is because I think initially with this song, he just has more of a South Florida genre type sound, because I think that's now almost a genre. But he thinks it sounds more like X, and I think it's almost exclusively the ad-libs that are making him believe this. I don't think that this song sounds like he copied anybody, but if it did, my best bet would be Denzel Curry, and I'll show you exactly why I think that right now.
Nigga don't like me, kill me right now.
Otherwise, nigga, pipe down. Y'all niggas rap too loud, nigga. Shh, what's that sound? That's me sneaking in your house with a trap. I'ma put that bitch in your mouth.
He wanted beef in the parking lot. My niggas dogs and we park a lot. All the pot choppers, they spark a lot. I'll beat your ass, I don't care. It's dark enough.
I think it's weird. Tokyo almost has a voice that sounds like both X and Denzel Curry, despite them not really sounding too much alike. I can't really find many parts of the song that I truthfully think sound like X at all, but I can put this part which really 100% separates him from X.
Pat Cole playing with the kitty, my nigga. I mean, for real, my nigga. I mean, the top of hold 150 bullets, my nigga. If you don't pull up, my nigga, then we can do it, my nigga. I mean, ooh.
To me, this showed a lot of skill out of Tokyo, and is something that I truthfully don't know if X could have done even if he had tried. I don't think he's ever made anything that sounds like this, and there's definitely not anything on the top of my head that correlates this with X in any way. With that being said, we're going to move on to what Patrick said.
So before I made a statement as big or as rude or whatever as just like, oh, you're an X clone, I wanted to really do the research and see if he's actually just copying or is it just kind of a coincidence. So let's go over to the SoundCloud.
So as I said before, the only thing I think could be an argument towards whether Tokyo is copying X in any way is the ad-libs from that song. And I think with any song, if you're going to claim that ad-libs are enough to call someone a clone, like he said he wasn't going to call him a clone without doing some more research. But I don't think there was even nearly enough to claim that Tokyo was a clone in the first place if it's just ad-libs. But as he said, we're going to go and see some more of his music on SoundCloud and see what else we can come up with.
So he just dropped a project. Today, actually, or yesterday.
Yeah. Diamond girl, I'll keep my cool. Tell you what.
Not gonna say much. It's Let's just keep going.
So this song, as you could see, that Patrick refused to really talk about because he's a big YouTuber and that can get controversial, is Bad News. And out of every song on my chart, this is the one that sounded like X the most by far. I put that the production is similar to X, and I can see the comparison. I think this is fair to comment on and say that it sounds like X, and I don't know if Tokyo would disagree with that. I think some of the frustration is that every single time he's getting compared to X, when a few times on here I got Denzel, Ski, and even a lot of Smoke Perp showing up in some of his music. So it's really overall the South Florida scene and not strictly X, but it seems like the X fans are the ones who like to talk the most right now. As I said before, this is definitely worth mentioning that this song sounds quite a lot like X, and something that Tokyo may have not realized. He may have just listened to a song and then jumped in the booth after and accidentally kind of had a similar style there. With that being said, I also don't think X created the style in this song. It is a style that X has used, but I think you can find this in other genres of music done far before X ever did it.
Again, I'll let you guys do the talking and the thinking.
So this is Drug Lullaby, another one that I scored really high in sounding like X and not really sounding like anybody else. I put that he did copy, but I don't really agree with this. I think there's a similar subject matter, and I feel as though what he was copying, as I said before, is a genre that X didn't really make, and I think a lot of these accusations would calm down a bit if Tokyo and X didn't have that similar voice I mentioned before. This is only 2 songs, so I'd like to hear what he says about the rest, because I only had one more that I said sounded like X.
Let's keep going.
Like Clark Kent metal on my hip, bitch. On the metal steel, how you feeling, bitch? Super, bitch.
Come on. Do I have to say it?
Alright, so after I listened to this whole song, Clark Kent, right here. Oh, it's not highlighting. There we go. This whole song, I put that he sounded the most like Ski, second Denzel, and then X. I put maybe the outro sounds like King's Dead remix, but that's only because I'm looking for him to sound like X, which is obviously a weak argument. Yet again, he showed a short snippet, which I can kind of see what he's talking about in this snippet, but with the actual overall song, I don't think it sounded much like X. This snippet, certainly with most fans who don't look more into it, would make them believe maybe it did sound a bit like X. But Ski does a very similar thing, and Denzel has definitely done that before as well. And I don't think he sounded much like X in this song in particular. But that's just my opinion, so let's move on once more.
And I feel like the songs that he does with Joey sound, I guess, a little bit more original.
Now you should pray for me, all the police always chase me home. 5 bands on these Robin G's.
See on me, 7 on my Cali. I don't fool with snakes. Stick on me, stick on snakes.
Okay, maybe not the flows, but at least the beat style.
Alright, so after listening to Psycho, which has both Tokyo's Revenge and Joey Trap, I think it sounded the most like Perp or Denzel rather than X, but I certainly heard some of what he was hearing from X. But as I said before, I think it's more of a South Florida genre that he sounds like, not particularly X. At some points, he does a similar voicing to X, which is definitely inspired by X, but I don't think it's enough to say that the overall song is copied, considering it's just a few seconds out of a 3.5 minute song.
But there's this song with this guy named Lil Satan.
Big Mac on me like a burger.
Damn, I fucked the bitch and I hop nigga like some pepper stool by myself. Cause they make kind of sandwiches. I'ma go and hit it from the back in my jaw.
And I mean, it's X and Ski reloaded. There's literally no debate. If you think that there's an ounce of originality in this, there just isn't. Top comment. This reminds me of X and Ski.
Alright, then here we go with good old Looney Tunes. And they said, not only did he say that this just sounded like X and Ski and that there was no originality in the entire song, but the top comment said it was X and Ski. And those are the 2 people who I thought it sounded the most like, but I definitely don't think it sounded like X and Ski, and I definitely don't think Lil Satan sounded like Ski if that's what they were trying to say. And definitely not X either by any means. I think Tokyo did some original stuff on the song, and I'm not sure what they're exactly talking about. The whole X and Ski feel wasn't really there. Maybe Tokyo sounded a little bit like both, but even then you're not really admitting that he sounded like X unless you're saying Ski sounds like X and X sounds like Ski, and then if that's okay and this isn't okay, but Ski was listening to Tokyo's music before. So anyway, the whole point is I just don't see that. It's so disrespectful to say that you can't see even an ounce of originality in the song, when I actually think the song is not really copying anyone. I don't really know what exactly he's talking about. So I'd love to, if you could break down more of what exactly it is in this song, that'd be kind of dope. But I'm not positive I understand what he's talking about. Maybe he'll give us some more information.
Look, as far as the music goes, it's just the same, like, for the most part. I mean, trying to find the little bits of originality is, like, kind of a stretch.
What are you talking about?
Look at the branding. He's got the moon for the picture.
A moon? When was there a moon? What is the moon? What is the significance of a moon profile picture? When did X do anything with the moon? I saw this. Someone said that this was once a profile picture, but, I mean, is that true? Are you talking about Moonlight? What?
The album is called Midnight.
Man, this one's real tough, but I'm gonna be honest, more people had like Midnight and stuff like that before X. I'm gonna be real with you. I don't know if you can really say that's copying X.
Even the way he titles his songs is so influenced by X.
Bro, like, the titles of the song have nothing to do with the actual music. I don't know if X was the first to do that. There's plenty of people doing that now. But, like, are we gonna call out anybody who puts capitals for their title of their song? Is that now copying X? Like, if that's how it's gonna be, then sure, that's fine. But if, I don't know, I think that's a little bit of a,
The way he sounds, the way he raps, when he does his sad sort of emo stuff, not only is it X style beats, but it's also X style singing. I mean, it literally sounds like he's trying to mimic his cadence.
Alright, so now he goes back to one of the songs that I said sounded the most like X. So far I'm leaning towards him not really sounding like X nearly as much as Patrick thinks, but Patrick is now saying he's almost a copy at this point. So I'm going to go show some other music I listened to, which I don't think Patrick did, but I listened to the whole discography that was available to me, and here's a type of singing that he has done before that definitely did not sound like X.
Every single midnight, it's always that same in the dark, and the devil asks me to play a game. She lays on my chest, kisses my skin. Oh.
So overall, I think there's a few really blatant errors with what Patrick did here. One, he obviously didn't check out his whole discography, and if he did, he just decided to ignore a lot of it. Two, he didn't do much research with Tokyo himself. He mentions that he couldn't find many interviews, which is great, but Tokyo mentioned that Patrick never even reached out to him. So all of the music that is missing that Tokyo decided to delete is what ends up, to Patrick it looks suspicious that he doesn't have any music from years ago. So he decides that maybe Tokyo is an industry plant, but he doesn't say it straight out. He kind of tiptoes around it because, yet again, that can be controversial. But if you're Patrick, like, what excuse is there, given the limited discography, what excuse is there that you didn't listen to the entire discography? And why didn't you reach out to this person? I understand not reaching out to him to a certain extent, but if you really can't find any information, you cannot jump to these conclusions. Either way, now you know for a fact, because of this video where he clearly hints at Tokyo copying X, that this is going to be a large amount of people coming to Tokyo asking for his head and asking why he copied X, when that's not even necessarily the truth. He really should try to inform his viewers to get an opinion of their own, or stress that this is purely his opinion, or at the very least, try not to make this bold of claims and try to slow down a little bit. I don't know.
I think he just say the word from Up like Insomniac from X.
Grammar.
But Tokyo's Revenge responded, I did. I'm glad you noticed. It was like a shout out to him because I miss him. So clearly, my man's inspired. What I'm presuming is that he was like a super fan. Maybe even inspired him to make the music.
So this might sound a little bit like it's what I just said and saying, not really blatantly going all negative and saying that this person clearly copied X. And I think this would have been a good thing to say, that, you know, it's not meant with ill will or all that, but what he says after this completely negates anything he just said.
What is the difference? Why are we able to get clout off this? Why are people able to just so blatantly copy and get clout off of it? How is that possible? How are we allowing that?
Alright, the last thing I would like to talk about is a little bit of what happened after this Patrick CC video. Tokyo did have some statements in response that you can definitely check out if you'd like to. He put out the single Gotham, which is going to be a little preview of what you're going to see on his upcoming album that should be coming out very shortly. And he also got in one controversy that hasn't really been talked about much. I'm not sure if many people actually know about it, but through doing my research, I did hear about it, and I really hope he's going to address it in some way soon. If you don't know what I'm talking about, I'm going to show you the clip and then explain what exactly is going on here.
How long till you return after the project drops? I don't know yet. Maybe it could be a day. Oh, I accidentally just turned my bathtub on. Fuck! Fuck, the knob is broken. Fuck, what did I do? Like, I can't, like, this water is about to run. No, son. No. What? We pull up, like, we pull up, we go left, we go right. Like, kids in Africa upset with me. Like, look, this shit is spinning. Like, my shit is on Beyblade. Like, why is my shit broke right now? What am I doing? Like, my whole shit is coming out. What are you niggas? No! What did I do? Why did the handle come on? It won't turn off. Yo, today's such a good day. And then niggas was like, yo, we're so happy that you're having a good day. And then I sat down one time and I broke something. And it's the thing that, like, you know, my water bill's about to be OD. It's about to be elite. They're about to be like, yeah, and this is a $2,000 water bill because niggas.
Okay, so this is now not about the video at all. I don't want Tokyo to let anybody push him around or anything like that. He's been through enough already. But he's letting this bathtub take his time and money from him. I don't need you to link this video to him, but I would absolutely love if we could get people adding Tokyo demanding a bathtub diss track. You don't need to explain why. It might be great because he probably forgot this even happened. So if you don't even mention it to him, that'd be phenomenal. But we need a bathtub diss track ASAP. Tokyo needs to do it. Thank you guys for watching. If you did enjoy, please like, comment, and subscribe. And if you guys were interested, this is my Instagram and Twitter. Make sure to follow me on there if you want to keep updated.
On my chest, kisses of skin. Oh, every single midnight, it's always that same in the dark, and the devil asks me to play games. She lays on my chest, kisses of skin.